Liverpool. Determined champions. Die-hard support. Pep. Kloppo. We know how to start a party. And we know how to stop one.
What a hit! Goes and wants running second, he's got one. Mohamed Salah, world class!
Fine lines, high stakes. Manchester City versus Liverpool, live in the Premier League.
Oh yes, this weekend kicks off with a mouth-watering clash between Manchester City and Liverpool at the Etihad, where the champions will be looking to close the gap on league leaders Arsenal, who host Leeds later on in the day. Also playing on Saturday, struggling Bournemouth are at home to Fulham. Brighton welcome Brentford, with both teams flying high and very much in the race for European football. Crystal Palace are at home to Leicester, whilst Wolves travel to Nottingham Forest, before Graham Potter's Chelsea welcome Aston Villa in the late kickoff. On Sunday, the stakes are high for relegation-threatened West Ham, who are taking on bottom-place Southampton, before Newcastle play Manchester United. Then action concludes with Spurs travelling to Merseyside on Monday. And joining me to preview all of the weekend's games as the Premier League returns, former Brighton striker Glenn Murray, alongside assistant editor for The Mirror, Darren Lewis. Good to see you both, guys. Now, before we take a closer look at this weekend's upcoming games, we can't wait for this one. Let's hear what both managers had to say ahead of this. Jurgen Klopp, but first, Pep Guardiola.
We made an exceptional team. My opinion doesn't change for a season. We had up and downs. Every club during one season can have these up and downs. We can beat everyone, like we can beat everyone. So one game is one game. The question is be consistent. And always Liverpool have been. And this season, I don't know why. So because I'm not there, and honestly, I don't care. So I don't know the reason why. So they have to ask my colleague.
Yeah, super important game. That's the one thing is was not different to all the other years, because obviously for us super important, for City super important. So apart from that, yeah, it's not. I'm not sure in the moment. It's not. I don't think it's. Could not say it's nicer to fight for the title or whatever. In the moment, it's just about we have to win football games, and you get usually what you deserve if you work hard enough, and that's what we try.
Well, this is it. It is the run-in to the end of the season, and we start with Manchester City hosting Liverpool. Great game to look forward to on the pitch, but also both teams fighting for different things. Liverpool hoping to get into the Champions League places, but for Man City, they've got a game in hand on Arsenal at the top of the table, who are 8 points ahead, and they play before them. How much will they want to put that pressure on them? They have to win every game now, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. They have to win every game, and Liverpool will be desperate for them not to win it. I mean, there's a real... over the years that we've enjoyed watching the games that they put together and the fireworks they produce. And I think if the Liverpool squad had a choice of who they would, now they're out of it, I'm sure it wouldn't be Manchester City. So they'll be doing their very best to get something out of that game on Saturday.
Does either side come into this as heavy favourites?
For me, yes. All the numbers for me suggest City are going to win. Liverpool only won one of their last 13 at the Emirates, stretching back to 2015. The City have won 26 out of 28 games at the Emirates. And
Etihad, you mean?
At the Etihad, thank you. At the Emirates would be interesting. But at the Etihad, they are near invincible. And I think as far as Liverpool are concerned, a big part of the reason why they've fallen apart this season is their away form. Brentford, Bournemouth, there's so many clubs, Brighton, they've been ripped apart at so many clubs away from home, but at home in front of their own fans have been much stronger. If this fixture were at Anfield, I'd say Liverpool all day long. But at the moment, particularly at this stage of the season where City know how to put a run together, I can't see anything other than a City win.
I wondered whether Erling Haaland's fitness was a factor in whether Liverpool maybe came into this one with a bit more confidence. At this stage, Pep Guardiola hasn't confirmed that he will definitely be available, but he hasn't been training with the rest of the Man City squad up until today. What do you think?
Well, obviously, if he is missing, it's a huge miss. It's a huge loss. Erling Haaland, we've seen the amount of goals he's scored and his persona on the pitch, it's huge, especially in the big games. He'll want to make his mark. But listen, with or without him, Manchester City are capable of winning this tie. I just think it's what Manchester City turn up, because they have been... They're not their usual selves, I would say. And then Liverpool, you just never know what's going to come out of Liverpool. They put 7 on Manchester United, and then they go to Bournemouth. So who's going to turn up on the afternoon? Goodness knows.
Pep Guardiola was asked in the press conference earlier today whether it changes the game plan if Haaland isn't available. He said no. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I do. It's 96 goals, was it, they scored last season without Haaland. They know. I actually think their front line is more fluid without Arsenal. Nobody knows who to pick up. They're so interchangeable. They're so classy in front of goal. Everybody knows where the goal is. And I think as far as City are concerned, they're mature enough and confident enough. They've been around the course and the distance, 4 title wins out of the last 5 seasons. I think at this stage of the campaign, they've got the mentality to be able to cope with a game of this intensity. And so I think all of the pressure is on Liverpool to come out and produce. And as you were saying, they'll be desperate for City not to win. But that desperation could leave holes at the back. And I just don't think at the moment they've got that protection in front of the back 4 to be able to keep City out.
Yeah, well, they're boosted, Liverpool, by the return of Luis Diaz in training. He could potentially feature, and also Jota has been back for the last couple of weeks as well. Who can you see starting in that front 3, possibly front 4 for Liverpool?
Well, put me on the spot, Jules. Well, I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp will want to get those guys back in. They were a massive success story last season. But like Darren says, I think even those guys coming back, it doesn't help the back 4. That has been the issue all season. And Manchester City, they will find holes in it eventually. It's just how long they can hold out.
Do you think it is about the back 4, Darren, or do you think the problems for Liverpool have been more in midfield?
Well, the midfielders have not been able to provide that protection for the back 4. There isn't somebody who is able to take control, organise that midfield. I mean, I'd defer to you. I mean, when you're... Obviously, you know, defending comes from the front, but in the middle of the park, you know, you've got... But you generally want your midfield general. I always remember when, as an example, Pochettino's defence when Southampton and then Spurs had the best defence in the Premier League. And in front of the back 4, when he was at Southampton, he had Morgan Schneiderlin and Victor Wanyama. Yeah. And then when he went to Spurs, he had Victor Wanyama and Moussa Dembele. Yeah. And there was that mix of industry and creativity, but a real organisation and a real protection for that back 4. I look at Liverpool at the moment and they don't have it. And I don't know if it's about the quality, because some people say, oh, Jordan Henderson's too old. And then we see Luka Modric running the game at 37 years of age. I don't think it's about age at all. I think the intensity of last season, they played every single game they could possibly play. And I think even us journalists, we maybe don't give enough credence to the idea that it took a lot out of them physically, emotionally, and it could just be that they need a break this summer and they come back refreshed next season. I don't know. But at the moment, that middle of the park is where teams have been running the show against them. I expect that to be the case tomorrow.
I think you're right there. And when you speak about the Pochettino sides, they didn't play with Trent Alexander-Arnold that just bombs forward. So there's a huge gap left there. But it also gives confidence. When you know that your defence isn't going to concede and you've got that bank of 4 and a 2 sitting in front of it, it allows your more attacking players to go forward fluidly and with confidence and just go and play the game. Whereas all of a sudden at Liverpool, there's just everyone's looking over their shoulder. Are they blocking that line? Are they doing this, doing that? And it's just a whole breakdown in communication, it seems.
So just a quick one before we move on these 2 teams. Are Liverpool going to make the Champions League places, Glenn?
No.
I'd agree with Glenn. I don't think they're consistent enough. And that's what the top 4 place is going to rely on at this stage. The team that puts a run together is going to get that spot.
And are City going to catch Arsenal?
No again.
I actually think yes.
Yeah?
Oh,
yeah,
go on then. Give us a line why.
Why? Well, because...
Where are Arsenal going to drop all their points? In fact, we're going to talk about that next.
Well, Arsenal could drop points at Liverpool, where they've been very impressive this season, at Anfield.
Yep.
Arsenal have got to go to City as well. Arsenal have got to go to Newcastle as well. Are you going to see them take 3 points from all those places? Newcastle's defensive record is the best.
They don't have to take 3 points at all those places.
They don't. But I think if they do start to drop points, given that they haven't been in this position for 20 years, psychologically, what will that do to them? City know this stage of the season. I know, to be fair, if you're watching Andy Arsenal, we were talking to Gabriel Jesus the other week. He said, I love this stage of the season. I've won the league 4 times. I know how it works. So to be fair, you've got him, you've got Zinchenko, you've got Jorginho. They've got the experience and whatnot. City have a whole team of players who know how to navigate this stage of the season. I just think the fixtures at the moment are nowhere near as easy as people think for Arsenal.
OK, and of course City have that game in hand as well, and they face each other in, 3 weeks' time? 26th of February, I think it is. Right, let's talk about Arsenal now. They are top of the table.
Here at St James's Park. I'm Derek Ray here on the commentary box, and I'm joined for commentary by Lee Dixon. And it's all about action from the Premier League in this case. It's Newcastle United facing...
Nadem, if Erling Haaland doesn't play, does your prediction of a City win here hold up?
Listen, most of my predictions are wrong anyway, but I think he's obviously a very important player for them, but they've been able to adapt in the past, and I think they'll continue to do so when they don't have that standard number 9 out there. I think whether that's the case of Julian Alvarez coming in or going towards the systems that they've had in the last couple of seasons, and overall against Liverpool at home, you know, they do pretty well, and I think that's probably why everyone's predicted a Man City win. And, you know, it's always dangerous when it's unanimous, but City, you know, they've been better than Liverpool this season, and they've got a fantastic home record. So whoever arrives there, you're going to fancy City more times than not. But if he is missing, it is going to be a blow. But listening to what Guardiola's saying there, it sounds to me like Haaland wants to play, Haaland wants to be involved, and if that's the case, then I'm sure he'll do everything to be out there and do what he can to help the team and sort of help them try and push to try and win the Premier League title.
If this was City and Liverpool going at loggerheads like they have been previous seasons, then I think it could tip the balance. Possibly. But I don't really think it does here. It kind of is what happens. But they've got this big Champions League games coming up as well. You don't want to lose them for a few weeks. So it's a balancing act in terms of how fit actually is he. But in terms of the two teams at the moment, I think City will cope admirably if Erling Haaland is not fit.
Would you risk him for it, Stuart, if it is like kind of touch and go?
I would never risk a player that's might be 50% fit, 60% fit. I don't ever think it's worth risking a player, because if he plays unfit and doesn't play particularly well, he then might have the injury worse, then he can't play the next week. If he's not fully fit, don't play him and make sure he's ready for the next game. Alvarez will come in and do a good job for Man City. They've got players that can make runs beyond him at times, and I still think they'll be stronger than Liverpool. So no, I wouldn't risk him.
Liverpool do not have the worst record against Manchester City. Anything, obviously you're not going for a Liverpool win here, but why not?
Well, because as Craig said, you know, previous games between these two, it's been tough to choose between them. And the fact is that Man City with Erling Haaland are big favourites to win this game, but Man City without Erling Haaland are still big favourites to win this game. So the Haaland situation from a Liverpool point of view, yes, if he doesn't play, it's better. But you're still against a side that, if they move the ball the way they can, Liverpool have shown that from a defensive point of view, they can't cope. Pretty much that's what Real Madrid did to Liverpool. They moved the ball around accurately and quickly, and Liverpool's defence, from middle to back, could not cope with it. That is my big worry. Listen, going forward, Liverpool have got players that can cause City problems, and Liverpool can put the ball in the net. Unfortunately, this is going to be about what City turns up. If this is a sharp City, then Liverpool, in my opinion, clearly are underdogs going into this game, big time.
And you looked at that graphic, October, I think it was, a Liverpool 1-0 win. We all thought at that time, everybody went, right, that's it. That's the turning point in the season. That's the game that turns the season around, and nothing could have been further from the truth. They went even further back the way. On top of that, their main player Virgil van Dijk, that is, has had a horrendous 10 days in terms of the criticism that he's had. Now, he may say it's not affected me, but, you know, we talked about it, the sort of bashing of a personal nature he took from Van Basten and Hewlett, which was bordering on ridiculous, some of the words, but you know, he's human at the end of the day. He knows he's not having a great season. He knows he's had all that flack, and now he's got to go in and face the second best team at the moment in the Premier League, with possibly the best striker on the planet. So there's not a lot pointing towards Liverpool at the moment.
And you know, I've got to say, the fact that Virgil van Dijk has been under so much pressure has actually saved one of his teammates, a guy called Alisson in goal, because recently he's been, in my opinion, he has been a shadow of the guy who at one point was the best goalie in the world, particularly with his feet. When the ball goes to his feet now, you're doing this. You know, we used to say this guy with his feet is unbelievable. He should be an outfield player. He could play for Brazil outfield, he's that good. Well, I tell you what, with his feet in particular recently, added to not making a save, I don't remember the last time Alisson made a save, but with his feet, he's for some reason, his confidence is completely shot.
I hear there is some redemption for Virgil van Dijk, though, in that he has made your combined 11 that you were asked to put together ahead of this game. But he's one of only 4 Liverpool players who have, Stevie. Talk us through it.
Well, I think clearly Walker over Alexander-Arnold from a defensive point of view is an absolute and utter no-brainer. John Stones, I think, is a great footballer, and I think defensively he's gotten a lot better. But Virgil van Dijk, still one of the best centre-backs in Europe. And Andy Robertson, I think, on the left-hand side, to me, is better than Aki. Aki's played there a lot. The middle of the park kind of tells you what I think of Liverpool. I think they've been struggling big time. That's partly some of the problems they've had defensively, is the midfield three haven't been able to stop anybody getting at the back line. And that's why I've got Silva, who's been brilliant. Rodri, you know, passing the ball, he's fantastic. And of course, De Bruyne. You can't not have De Bruyne playing.
Robbo, do you like Stevie's combined 11? Do you agree with it?
Absolutely. You know, I always agree with Stevie, as you know. I like that midfield as well, and Kevin De Bruyne is still the best passer of the ball in the world. So, you know, he has to be in that team. Virgil van Dijk, yeah, he has been a top-class defender, has been one of the best in Europe, but not at the moment. So that's gonna be an interesting one. But yeah, I agree with Stevie on most of those players, as I always do.
Nadim, is this a massive sign of the times, the fact that it is only 4 Liverpool players in a combined 11? Granted, it's Stevie's opinion here that he's put it together, but is this showing City's dominance over them this season?
Yeah, I would say so, but I think the key bit is in that midfield, because I think you could say overall for Liverpool this season, that's where they've struggled quite a lot. Obviously, they've had defensive frailties as such, but we've not really seen them sort of control and have that high energy nature about them in certain games, which has really surprised us. So as a consequence, the City midfield has to come to the fore. Maybe that'll change in the future, I'm not sure, but as far as picking combined 11s go, that's not too bad, Stevie. Credit where it's due. Credit where it's due.
Hey, there you go.
Tell you what, he's lucky.
Hey, there you go.
I'm surprised it was 4 made it in, to be quite honest.
Would you not have made?
Oh no, you couldn't. It's hard to argue against. You know, having Núñez, who, you know, just looks as if he's going to be and is a handful. And I think next year you'll see an even better Darwin Núñez. I don't think obviously Salah's not had the best season either. You could make an argument for Diaz, but he hasn't played all year, to be honest with you. But yeah, as the boys said, I don't think.
I actually went to stats. Can you believe it? If you look at the stats, Núñez and Salah.
Hold on. Is this team based on algorithms?
Well,
Xhaka?
If it was, I don't think it would be any other change.
So what's the stats on Diaz
goals and assists? Núñez and Salah are way ahead of Grealish, of Foden, of Mahrez. I mean, way ahead. Way ahead. And that front three.
When's he ever based anything
I'm
on
actually
stats?
speechless.
Well, I've just started.
and he's just told us that he's just started using stats. Let's put it on the City side of things, though, Nadim. Is this a must-win for them if they're to stay in the title race with Arsenal?
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. I think Liverpool as well, they've got 3 big games this week. They've got City, Chelsea and Arsenal, so they're obviously going to be pushing on. But for City, they're at the point now where there are so few games left that they could literally win every game between now and the end of the season. and still finish second. So they have to do their side of they have to keep their side of the bargain. Hope that Arsenal drop some more points somewhere along the road. But, you know, as I say, this is them. This is the end of the season. This is when they go for everything. This is when they really try and push on in Premier League titles. And it's strange for them to not be at the top at this moment because we're so used to seeing them sort of being dominant and getting away from people. But yeah, this is every game between now and the end of the season. It's a must-win, not just for City. Probably going to feel the same way for Liverpool, and even for the teams down the bottom. Every game is huge at this stage because this is where, you know, things become more absolute. Your time is running out. You have to get a result now because, you know, you're not going to wait another month, 2 months to try and figure it out because before you know it, your situation might be sorted out already.
Yeah.
City just keep having to make sure they're asking Arsenal the question. Arsenal play at 10 o'clock tomorrow against Leeds. They'll know the result.
Right.
They've shown really no sign of weakness recently. I suppose maybe the Bournemouth game, they pulled themselves back from oblivion really with that late winner. But generally they've been rolling teams over. There's not a real sign that's going to go away. So Man City have to make sure they just keep putting that pressure on. Every game, putting the pressure on. Are you up to it? Can you cope with this? Are you good enough? And so far the answer has been yes. But if somehow Liverpool were to take this victory tomorrow, and that's a sort of big if, the way they've played, and Arsenal were to win, I mean, it's not quite celebrating for Arsenal, but it would be damn close. So it is a huge early kick-off game for Man City tomorrow, no doubt about it.
Yeah, big day in the Premier League tomorrow. The big thing for Liverpool this season now is to try and actually finish in the top four. As we take a look at the odds for this, now they may be 19 points shy of City, but they are only 7 points behind Spurs and have played 2 less games than them, which is probably why Jurgen Klopp is not ruling out a top 4 finish either.
It's like a Champions League week. I know we're out. I'm super excited, absolutely. But that's the thing. Look, we are not dumb, at least not particularly. So we know that we have the last game we played was in Madrid. Was not a good game. The game before was Bournemouth. Was not a good game. The game before was world class. So we have to make sure that that we pick up from there.
If they win this game, Stevie, Liverpool, does that just reignite that whole hope for the top 4?
Well, it does, yeah. I mean, it does, but unfortunately, this will not be the first time that I'm thinking along those lines. And in previous occasions, when all of a sudden, like Craig's saying with a 1-0 against City, you think it's coming, and they just let you down. So, listen, can Liverpool beat Man City? Yes, they can. Can Liverpool go on in a run between now and the end of the season and win every game? Not a chance.
Julián, muchas felicidades por tu renovación. Este debe ser un momento en tu carrera.
Gents, let's switch gears now and focus on a massive game coming up in the Premier League this weekend. Manchester City against Liverpool. I'm going to be at the Etihad for this one. Cannot wait. It's produced so many great displays over the years, tactical nous, great individual battles all over the pitch. Andy, I want to come to you. How good are Manchester City? Because they can put the pressure on Arsenal, but it seems like this season, whenever they've had the opportunity to do that, they haven't quite done it. So here's the situation this weekend. They're playing in the early game. They cut Arsenal's lead atop the table to 5 points. And I feel like if they do it right now, come out the traps flying against Liverpool, they can really kind of set the tone for the run. And yes, there's a lot of twists and turns between now and the end of the season, but this feels particularly significant. At home, lunchtime kickoff after the international break against Liverpool. Question marks about Erling Haaland's fitness, which we're going to talk about. So this is a big statement here for Man City to see how focused they are. And of course, they will be focused to retain their Premier League title.
Yeah, so you asked how good are they? And my first thought was, well, what day of the week is it? Because they're very up and down. They run hot and cold a lot this season.
Previous seasons, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, it was so consistent. It was, you knew every time they took the field what you were going to get from them. You knew the way that they were going to play. You knew they were going to overwhelm you with possession. And as soon as they lose the ball, they're on you to get it back. And it's a little bit different way of playing this season. And I do think the focus, I disagree a little bit with what you said there at the end, Joe. Obviously, they want to win the Premier League title and then retain it and win 3 in a row. But I don't think that's the focus this season. I really don't. Because I think if you just look at the team and try to look at the team through Pep's eyes, and I think he realizes this is his best chance to win the Champions League at Manchester City that he has had, at least as of yet, with Erling Haaland doing what he has done. Because in big games, that has been the thing that has cost them. The inability to put chances away, the inability to really create chances in big games later in the Champions League. And so, if they win it, sure, that would be great. He will celebrate it and he'll be happy, and there'll be plenty of pictures of him, celebrating with the team. But if they don't, I think it's okay. And that seems to kind of bear itself out every weekend when they come out with a slow start and then they get a goal and they give one up late and they drop points that they don't need to do against teams I don't know, there's a different feel about them in the Premier League than in the Champions League. And then the next day, you compare that to the way that Arsenal come out and the way that they attack, and they're aggressive and they are ambitious and going for it for the Premier League title. It just seems like two different teams with two different goals in mind.
Nick, you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much brilliant. Nice job, Andy. I'm done.
Yes.
No,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. We're good. See you later. I'll tell you what, I look at City and I see a team and I see a manager who has the fire to win, but is comfortable enough if the performance is there, because the goal is to win the Champions League.
Another great point.
If they perform well, Pep seems to be okay with it. It's not about the referee or what went wrong within it. It's, listen, our levels were there and maybe Erling didn't score. And I also think, just to add quickly, I know this isn't a Champions League segment, but what Haaland gives them in Europe is a focal point that other teams have to worry about. In previous years, it's been a lot more, man, this system's going to kill you and any other weapon can do it. Man, Bayern Munich has felt Erling Haaland before, right? These teams have felt it. So in the Premier League, I think it's still about, well, listen, we're just trying to get out. The opponents are still thinking, we just want to get out of here with a point, which is crazy as we start to talk about Liverpool, another up and down team, because wouldn't it be the most Jurgen Klopp 2022-23 thing to finish in 6th but sweep Man City? Like, wouldn't that be the most Liverpool thing that could happen? That's almost leaning towards me, not to get ahead of ourselves with prediction, but I'm almost thinking like, yep, that's what happens with Liverpool this year. They don't get anything they want, but they beat Man City twice.
Yeah, it's a massive game for them though, right? I mean, in terms of the top 4, I want to see the reaction from, it seems like a long time ago, but just before the international break, obviously losing against Bournemouth. Midfield, right, Andy, is the same kind of issues that have been hampering them throughout the season. The lack of energy, getting the balls forward to Salah, Nunez and Gakpo have been really good in recent weeks when they have figured that out. But yeah, Liverpool, just when we think they've got it figured out after hammering Manchester United the way they did, then losing away at Bournemouth, I want to see a reaction here. But like Nick mentioned, I think Liverpool will be delighted with a point away at Man City, given how tight these games have been over the years. But if you look at their record against City, it's pretty good, right? I mean, Klopp one-on-one against Guardiola over the years, his tactics really do rub Guardiola the wrong way. And I think it's going to be intriguing to see if Liverpool go to default, because they haven't exactly played that Klopp high presses style for most of this season. So can they do it in a one-off? Probably, like Nick mentioned from earlier in the season, but it's going to be a big ask for them, isn't it, this weekend?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to that game and how they did, and I do believe there was a lot of the pressing going on in that one. And a lot of teams try to press City, and they fail, and they get picked apart and ripped apart, really. But when you've got the quality and just the experience and the comfort factor that Liverpool have in playing that way, it's a different challenge, even for a team like Manchester City. And so I think we probably do see them go back to that, and the fact that they've had a little bit of time off for some players to recharge their legs. Now they've still got a lot of injuries going on. They might be without Jordan Henderson once again. Thiago's still out, and then go back to the beginning of the season, the starting midfield is probably Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago. And so to have 2/3 of those players out for so much of the season the way that they have been, and Jordan Henderson regressing, there's a lot of problems at Liverpool. But to your point, in a one-off situation against this team, they have shown that a lot of factors that, from the outside that we look and say, well, this and this is why they can't win, simply doesn't matter. And so they will come out very, very aggressive, very ambitious, I think, in this game, realizing that with the run-in coming up, very precious few opportunities now to make up ground in that top 4 race. And if you can get 3 against City, obviously it's 3 points, but it's almost 3 bonus points at this point of the season.
I was looking back at the lineup. I was at this game at Anfield earlier this season where Liverpool beat Man City 1-0. They played with a 4-2-4 almost, it became, with Fabinho and Thiago as the holding midfielders, Roberto Firmino in the number 10 role, Salah up front centrally, Harvey Elliott and Diogo Jota on the wings. So obviously personnel might be a bit different, but we could see something like that again from Klopp this weekend to say, yeah, maybe the best form of defence for them against City is all-out attack and just trying to clog City back and stop them from possessing the ball through the thirds. But good luck with that, because we know how good they can be. But there is an update, obviously, injury-wise. Erling Haaland suffered a groin injury, didn't play for Norway during the international break, returned to Manchester for treatment. So as of filming right now, there isn't an update from the doctors at City about how long he's going to be out for. But obviously, Pep Guardiola, City's fans and players and staff and everyone connected with the team are holding their breath that it's nothing too serious. And Haaland, even if he isn't available this weekend against Liverpool, he'll be back to lead their push for the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup at the end of the season. But Nick, on Haaland, who do you think would be the perfect replacement? You can't replace Erling Haaland, but I mean, is it Julian Alvarez coming in for him?
Yeah. I love it. I worry that the break came at the wrong time for him, because he has been looking every bit the comfortable, dynamic player. I was looking into his numbers before the show to make sure I wasn't going to make a stupid point here. But his shots per game, his key passes per 90, even his XG, it's only Haaland has better numbers than him on Man City. He's a very exciting player. And I wonder if Haaland is out, and we know Foden is out with an illness after having his appendix removed, I wonder if that doesn't stop Pep Guardiola from getting too creative and getting ahead of himself, because he has a few less options. And I think this is the sort of game where you're going to ride Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri and those guys who have big game experience.
Exactly.
Go do the job. Do the job. Go get us 3 points. I don't care how we do it. We're at home. The Gallagher brothers are probably going to be there somewhere. Let's just go. Let's go set the stage for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and they have done that recently against your beloved Newcastle. It wasn't vintage Man City. It was just resolute, defensively hung in there, and then just took their chances whenever they popped up. But yeah, at one point on Alvarez, just reminds me so much of the situation that Gabriel Jesus found him in Man City behind Aguero, right? It's like, this is another really, really good striker, but you're behind Erling Haaland in a team that usually only plays one forward. So he's so good. Any other team in the Premier League, I'm sure he'd be starting up top, right?
Joe, isn't it a little bit, because I was thinking about this the other day, it's a little bit like when you buy the valuable painting because you know someone's going to pay more for it. It seems like he rides this out a couple of years. Haaland goes to Real Madrid, and they reinvest the Haaland money everywhere else and give Alvarez the star standing. And I think that was probably the goal, maybe with Jesus, until Haaland emerged. And Haaland is, again, the son of a Man City player. I think the stars kind of aligned there, and I do wonder how long we see Erling Haaland in Man City.
Hopefully, we see him this weekend, but hopefully for a long time with his form in the Premier League this season. All right, prediction time then, gents. Andy, what are you going for? Give me a scoreline.
2-1 City. Late winner.
Nick?
Hard same.
Really? I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Liverpool will just kind of... something tells me they're going to come out on the attack and kind of catch City by surprise a little bit and knock them off their stride. So usually it's really tight when these teams play over the last few years, and I really enjoy these Guardiola and Klopp battles. So I'll be reporting live from the Etihad this weekend. Manchester City against Liverpool. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all gents talking about a fun one. It's going to be a big weekend up and down the Premier League table. Let's now rattle through the games coming up. Match week 29, preview it, give our predictions for the games. Andy, coming to you, the title race. 2 games, obviously. Man City against Liverpool and an Arsenal against Leeds. Those are the games that matter at the top of the table. But City against Liverpool, we mentioned it earlier on PST earlier this week that this feels like City can just grind out wins now. But Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool, if they go all out attack against City and show they have nothing to lose, even though they have a lot to gain in the top 4 race, that could be the best route for them to grab something against City like they did earlier this season. So, as always, when Guardiola and Klopp square off, a great tactical battle.
Yeah, this will be a very, very quick and harsh reintroduction back into club play and the Premier League, I think, for City, and a real challenge to deal with what we kind of think, given the way that Liverpool have played against them specifically this season and years past, will be an aggressive style. It'll be a lot of the high pressing and how City are able to deal with that.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night. Good evening. Anybody home, wherever your location is, greetings. It's still night here, struggling to wake up and set up the show. I hope you guys enjoy it, because I'll be sleeping, to be honest. I didn't really prepare this before. Forgot to do a lot of stuff, but yeah, I hope it's okay. Thank you so much for stopping by. And the first game of this day is going to be between Manchester City and Liverpool. Let me know if you can hear me and you can see me. Thank you, everybody in the house. Still a lot of time to go. Still 31 or 32 minutes until the beginning of the game at Etihad Stadium. So say hi to me, good morning, and wake me up. I can't drink coffee because I have to go back to sleep at some point after the game. So yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. Hassan said good morning to you. I hope Chelsea. Yeah, we're gonna have time to talk about Chelsea, because that is going to be the next game. Hours after this, of course, but we're gonna have time to talk about Chelsea. Hello, my brother Ali. Hello, everyone in the house. Hello, Mr. Ali. Nice to see you, brother. So, yeah, you let us know what do you think about the games today and what is going to happen. What is going to happen according to you? So, for the two teams, you already know the lineup. For Manchester City, Ederson, Stones, Akanji, Diaz, Ake, Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Grealish, and Alvarez, because Mr. Erling Haaland is not going to be there. Nunes on the bench for Liverpool. Stones in for Kyle Walker at right back. Pep Guardiola always tried to confuse people here. Nobody expected this. All of a sudden, Stones from the right hand side. Interesting to see what the plan is. And if you go to Liverpool, they have Alisson Becker, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Hendo, Fabinho, Elliott, Jota, Salah, and Gakpo. Both teams are really very, very good teams here. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Manchester City can't afford to lose because they have to be in a reachable distance between them and Arsenal. If they lose today, the chances of fighting is going down and down. You never know. 10 games in the Premier League. Never know, but you have to win your games. If they win the game, Arsenal might be in a little bit of pressure because they play the second game. After this game, Arsenal are going to be there. So they better win. And for Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp said that it feels like Champions League all over again because they're going to play City and then they're going to play Chelsea. So very, very tough games. They have to win in order to push for top 4. So it must win game for both teams, you know. People, let me know if you can hear me, you can see me. Give me some feedbacks. I can't really tell anything from my side. I'm struggling to wake up. It's a very, very, very night or early in the morning, whatever you want to see it. That's the reality here when you have to watch the Premier League. It's always this way. So it is what it is. At least the Chelsea game is going to be in acceptable hours for me. So I'm going to suffer for this game, but the next game I'm going to be refreshed and get my coffee and everything, you know. So it is what it is, my people, and the link being provided for everybody to call. Don't be shy. This one is for you to call. If you don't have time to call, you can comment. Give me some feedback. You know, I've been asking for feedback. If somebody can hear me and see me forever, nobody wanna say anything. Beside Mr. Ali who say hi. You can say hi, be nice, you know. Alright people, so what are we gonna do here? I'm here for the people, so the people need to speak out. Alright, interesting. Erling Haaland not there, but Julian Alvarez is capable of really filling that gap. It just Haaland is Haaland, right? Haaland is so good that sometimes it's difficult to get him out the team, but okay, so let me go and see if some people start saying hi. Suzette Williams. Hi, how are you doing, Suzette? Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Samuel said that, hello, Mr. Oaks. How are you doing? Happy weekend? Yeah, I'm doing okay. Still night. Can't drink coffee now because I might have to go back to sleep, because you drink coffee now and then your day is gone, huh? So struggling to wake up. That's how you suffer here watching the Premier League in the morning. Ali, yeah, he said hello, Mr. Ali. Is everything working your side? Can you hear and can you see? So yeah, it's all cool. It's all cool from my side. We're gonna watch the game together depending on your interaction. If we can do a watch along, or we're gonna do the voiceover, or audio commentary, depend on the engagement that I'm getting from people, because this is a very small channel that we are trying to push. So please, if you are here for the first time, feel free to subscribe, give it a chance, and see. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. But if you're gonna like it, you're gonna love it, because there's a lot of interaction here. It's a little bit different than other watch alongs, because here our watch along is it's different. Just give it a try. You will see what we do here, and the phone or the link always provided. Like this link here, you can call anytime and have your voice. You are live on television. Okay. Good morning. Nice job. Thank you so much, Mr. Ali. And struggling to get some stuff on the screen. Okay. How everybody is doing? What is your score prediction for this game? Who do you think is going to do it? Okay, so this is basically fixing some graphics. You will see everything on the screen, the radar, the scoreboard and everything, ambience and commentary from the stadium. So, you won't be disappointed. It's cool. You're gonna love it. Just give it a chance and see how it goes. And the game is going to start in 22 minutes, as you can tell on your screen right now. So that is about it. That's about it, my friends. Okay, let's now go back and subscribe. Okay, it doesn't cost us anything. It's gonna take you just like 1 second to do it. If you can give the video or the stream a like, and also subscribe to the channel. Let's grow and get to 1,000 subscribers in the channel, and after that we can set up another goal. Right? Thank you so much appreciated. Okay, let's go back and check if we have any comment. No comment. All right. So, is there anything you wanna see? I wanted to pull something like statistics in the last few games between Manchester City and Liverpool, but for some reason I can't do it. This is what you got when you don't prepare your show. You just go all of a sudden. I'm trying to see if we can do that. I had it the other day, but I kind of lost it. Yeah, let me try this one. Hello? Can you hear me from this scene? Probably, maybe not. All right, so we're gonna try to see some statistics from the last few games before the game start, so we can have something to talk about at least. They've been very, very close in the last few years, to be honest. The two teams been very, very close. Not a big difference. Okay, so okay, so this is the games that gonna happen today. It's on the screen right now. Hopefully, yes. So it's match week 29. We have Manchester City against Liverpool, of course. It's happening right now on Peacock. If you are in the US, it's Peacock online service. And Bournemouth against Fulham is going to be 10 Eastern. Arsenal against Leeds United, 10 Eastern. Brighton against Brentford, it's going to be 10 Eastern again. Crystal Palace against Leicester City, 10 Eastern. So many games at 10, but I'm not going to be there because I'll be sleeping by that time. Just so I can catch up a little bit and come back for the Chelsea game. Nottingham Forest against Wolves, also 10. Chelsea against Aston Villa, it's going to be the last one. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you can see, I don't know if you can see on the screen right now, but that is what's gonna happen. Thank you so much for stopping by, Mr. Chelsea Perspective. Thank you so much. Big up, people, big up. Some likes and some dislikes, it always helps for the interaction. I'm struggling, really. I'm struggling. I'm sleepy. I can't drink coffee. Sorry, because I might go back to sleep a little bit. Sacrifice for this. So yeah, help us grow this small channel. And yeah, so we're gonna start by this one. Peacock. Go on Peacock and you will see what is happening. Let me remind you the lineups. Manchester City, I don't know if that is really the formation. Is this the lineup is here. Ederson in goal. They have Diaz, Stones, Ake, Akanji. Midfielders, they have Gundogan, Super Jack Grealish, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez. Wait, is this really the lineup? Or they are giving everything that, I don't know. Yeah, probably. That's what it say here. Lineup. So if I got it wrong, it's not my fault. This is the Premier League official website giving you the lineup. It's not me. So yeah, that is from them. So Mahrez is there. And then they have Julian Alvarez, number 19, who is leading the line today because Mr. Erling Haaland is not going to be there. He got an injury from the national team. On the bench, they have Ortega, Walker. So I don't know what the strategy is today. Walker is on the bench and John Stones actually playing from the right-hand side. What is the strategy today? This is the problem with Pep Guardiola, right? He always try to confuse people all the time. Yeah, play Kyle Walker, man. What's wrong? He's very fast. He's gonna destroy people. And you play John Stones, who naturally not in that position, and he's very slow. I don't know what he's trying to do, but that is his problem. And the bench, Laporte still on the bench. Rico Lewis is on the bench. Calvin Phillips. I don't know why he came to Manchester City. Well, to win titles and sitting on the bench. Well, I think he need to go. If he want to play games, looks like Pep Guardiola just spent 40 or 45 million for no reason. Bernardo Silva, number 20, on the bench. Sergio Gomes is on the bench. And they have the Maximo Perrone, the guy that they bought from Argentina last January. He's on the bench. And Cole Palmer is a youngster from the academy. And if you go to Liverpool of all people, goalkeeper Alisson. So 2 Brazilian goalkeepers here, one for City, another one for Liverpool. Alisson Becker, Van Dijk, Konate, Andrew Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Fabinho, Hendo is the captain today. Harvey Elliott, Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota. And look at their bench. This is also a little strange. If you look at the bench here, you will see Kelleher, Joe Gomez, Tim Cass, Joe Matip, Milner. I hope that Milner can play against Chelsea so we can put like Mikhailo Modric against James Milner again. The Ox. And Alta is the guy that came from Juventus. He hasn't really played any game. He was injured since I don't know when, forever. And Bobby Firmino is on the bench. Darwin Núñez also on the bench. So I don't understand what the strategy is. So no Erling Haaland against Darwin Núñez today. All right. So yeah, I'm doing good, Mr. Clay, CLETUS. I don't know even that means. I'm too old to remember all the abbreviations and initials, but I thought it was Clay. Clay in French mean the key. All right. Nice to see you, Mr. C. Yeah, very, very good teams. Never say never in football. You know, the last time I got it completely right. No, not even right. I got it completely wrong. It was Liverpool against Manchester United. Yeah, I said I said Manchester United to win 2-1 away. Away at Liverpool. And guess what happened at the end? They got destroyed 7-0. So don't trust me when it comes to guessing and and predicting results. Do not even try to trust me because you're gonna lose. I was so confident with my chest up, like, you know, Manchester United are going to destroy them. This game is already in the pocket for United. What happened? Nothing. What happened is Liverpool beat them 7. It was just like men against boys, right? Men to boys, boys to men. Remember? All right. So yeah, you have the lineups and the bench and everything here on your screen. Statistics, no statistics so far, but we're gonna see what happened really between the two teams in the last few games, like let's say 5 games, right? So Liverpool against Manchester City, they won actually the last game at Anfield. So, but let's start by long time ago, like 2020, Manchester City, Liverpool. 1-1. Liverpool against Manchester City. They lost actually in 2021, February. They lost 4-1 at home, Liverpool. And then in 2021, October, it was a draw, Liverpool 2, Manchester City 2. That was again at Anfield Stadium. Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2. It was at Etihad Stadium, April 2022. And then on October 2022, it was 1-0 to Liverpool against Manchester City. So as you can tell, they've been really very close, close in terms of result, Here is like one win each and the rest being draws. So today on paper, of course, people say that City, even me, I think City are gonna win it. They wanna get closer to Arsenal. But you never know. It could be the same way. I said it for the game between Liverpool and Manchester United. I said United to win. Look what happened. So the game is about to start like in 10 minutes, my people. So brace yourselves. Get ready for the game. We're gonna have amazing graphics here, the commentary from the stadium, the atmosphere from the stadium, everything. And on top of that, you can call. So yeah, you're not gonna be disappointed. Stay here, stay with me. Stay with me. Let's see. So let now check. Let's go to some details, right? Some details what happened the last game. For the first leg. The first leg, Mohamed Salah was the man of the match because he scored, right? He scored in the 76th minute. It was an assist actually from the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper gave an assist to Mo Salah. That's how good Alisson Becker is with Liverpool. So when I see people say a goalkeeper can play from the back and all that, you have to reach the level of Ederson and Alisson Becker. So you Kepa, you whatever. I mean, I want to see it. I want to see those true balls, like assist kind of balls. So the goalkeeper assisted Mo Salah to score 1-0 at the end. So that tells you something about that goalkeeper. Chelsea almost got Alisson Becker before they went for Kepa, and they got Kepa even more expensive. Alisson was there begging and waiting for Chelsea, and Chelsea were penny pinching and begging for Courtois to stay and all that. All of a sudden, Liverpool came and paid the money and got him, and we are stuck with Kepa Arrizabalaga. I'm not angry about it, but overall, I think Alisson Becker was going to be a better goalkeeper than Kepa. But listen, I'm not gonna regret anything because we won pretty much everything with Kepa. So yeah, it is what it is. Alisson won pretty much everything with Liverpool, and Kepa won pretty much everything with Chelsea. So Mo Salah was the man of the match in the last game. Let's see who came second. He had one shot on target and scored one goal. That tells you that he was very, very clinical that day. Mo Salah, the king of Egypt. Yeah, so Mo Salah, man of the match. The second one came Alisson Becker because he was amazing. He had some amazing saves and he got an assist for a goalkeeper. That means a lot. Alisson Becker, he scored even a goal for Liverpool. I think last season or so, like the last minute he came to the opposition box and it was a corner kick. What a header. Bam! At the back of the net, 1-0. It doesn't happen often that a goalkeeper scores from an open play. A header, probably penalties. Yeah, you can understand, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one to find a goalkeeper who can score goals from open play. So, Alisson, what a goalkeeper, man! What a goalkeeper. All right, so that day, let's check on some statistics. What happened that day? Oh, let's check on the lineup that day. Almost the same, but Erling Haaland played in the first leg, but today he's not gonna be there. Darwin Núñez was on the bench. Actually, he came off the bench. Mohamed Salah, the king of Egypt. Look at statistics from that game. Liverpool 36.8, Manchester City 63.2. But at the end, ball position didn't really mean anything because Liverpool went to win. Look at the amount of shot on target. 2 for Liverpool, 1 goal scored, and 6 shot on target for Manchester City with 0 goal scored. So this statistics sometimes means nothing, you know. Yeah. Statistics sometimes means nothing. So today it's gonna be interesting. Arsenal are Liverpool fans today. Arsenal are watching and praying that Liverpool does some damage on Manchester City. You know what I mean? So Liverpool are gonna get better next season if they get Mason Mount. Mason Mount is gonna be developed by Klopp and he's gonna be in another level with Jurgen Klopp next season. Yeah, man. So we talked about head to head. Now let's talk about individual, performances. Not individual in terms of the team. So let's talk Liverpool individually and Manchester City individually. In the last few games, like the last games, look at that. Manchester City only drew. No, this is a odd stat. I have to find a new one. Forget about it. I'm not gonna get there. Otherwise, I'm gonna be reporting something that not accurate. So I have to go back to. The main page here. So today, let me remind you how many games that will happen. Manchester City against Liverpool. It's gonna be in about 2 minutes to go. Oh my goodness me. Bournemouth, Fulham, Arsenal, Leeds, Brighton, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Leicester City, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, and Chelsea, Aston Villa. That game we're gonna be back again here at some point. but we are going to focus on Manchester City against Liverpool. So the game is about to start, people. So I might do voiceover, behind the scenes, audio commentary, because I'm not having a lot of engagement in this channel, still a small channel. But you're not gonna be disappointed because everything is gonna be on the screen, and I'll be back like halftime taking calls, and the end of the game I might take some calls, but it is what it is. Let me see. All right. Are you guys ready for the game? The game is about to start, my people. Get around, get around. I am fixing everything. I hope you can hear me. The reason why I'm not gonna sit here for 45 minutes is that I don't have many people. I don't have people calling or engagement or comment. So we're gonna watch the game together. You're gonna listen from here, or some commentary, and then I will be back for like calling when people wanna call, at halftime or at the end of the game. So I hope you enjoy this kind of concept that I'm trying to create. All right.
Wayfair's got just what you need for your home. Do they have stylish beds?
So get around. The game is about to start, people. I'll be away for a while and come back.
A watching brief. 42 goals, sitting on a plastic blue seat. It's not where he wants to be, it's not where they want him to be. And so, City, Liverpool once more. For the reigning Kings of England, another juicy joust with their principal modern adversary. Liverpool's sights now are set lower, but their need to win is absolutely as acute. So they are both obliged, Graham. What are the fundamental factors here?
Well, 12:30 kickoff, we were talking about them before, slow to get going normally, and the atmosphere was very quiet. Crowd have finally arrived, and I think that it's in City's sort of gift to start the rhythm of this game and get the crowd behind them, keep it intense and threaten Liverpool in these early stages. I think from a Liverpool perspective, it's where they set their lines. How much do they press? How much do they chase the ball versus protecting those passing lanes? As Jurgen Klopp said in his pre-match, that's where they're so good, City, that playing between the lines and interchanging positions.
Stones from right full-back, or faux right full-back, instead again of Kyle Walker, who played in that position twice for England during the international fortnight. Akanji, in fact, adopting the right-sided defensive role to begin with, and here is Stones receiving from De Bruyne. And Rodri, as ever, from in front of that rear guard. Ake, having played significant parts of action for the Netherlands. Grealish looking to prompt Alvarez, on whom perhaps there is more scrutiny than anyone else. And of course he will be especially scrutinised by Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, and you see him there getting in behind, making those forward runs, as Haaland would. He doesn't have the pace Haaland has, he's still quick. Virgil van Dijk there reading play well.
Now Fabinho threw up a hand there. I want to hope this was inadvertent. I'm not sure he saw Gundogan in his wing mirrors here.
Purely accidentally, he's just put one arm out to block him, and then he's caught him with his right hand. Caught Gundogan in the eye, I think.
It doesn't often take long for this fixture to catch fire. Fabinho's smile suggests innocence. Gundogan's growl and scowl suggests he's not quite ready to accept an apology.
He's somebody that sort of flies under the radar a little bit, Gundogan. You know, we've spoken about Haaland missing, Foden missing. Alvarez in. Gundogan, I think, is really key for City today. Such a quality player.
Gakpo having his shirt tugged by Rodri. He did very well to make that progress. And Robertson can whip it in. Ake's was a partial clearance. Salah went to fetch it. He's bounced off Grealish. Here's Harvey Elliott. And now Trent Alexander-Arnold. Salah. Elliott. Fabinho. Just thought that, but Salah couldn't quite catch it up.
Yeah, good loft on that pass from Fabinho, but just couldn't quite control the pace of it. Excellent start by Gakpo. He played an almost perfect game a couple of weeks ago that we were watching at Anfield against United. It really announced himself and his potential in this Liverpool team.
Rodri, who had a rotten international break with Spain, beaten by Scotland at Hampden Park, Glasgow the other night. And he was quite outspoken about the Scottish playing style, which was robust. Rodri quite capable of being robust himself. Ake got a couple of goals for his country against Gibraltar. Grealish.
I think you might have got one or two against Gibraltar, Pete.
Elliott. Apologies to our Gibraltar viewers. Robertson, who of course played for Scotland, captained Scotland in that game. He and Rodri were the respective skippers, shook hands before the game, shaking each other's necks by the end of it. Diaz. Mahrez. Akanji.
Just looking at City when they have possession, and they're so comfortable in possession, playing tight areas. They're playing with the front five. So we talk about Alvarez's role. Well, his role is operating within that front five, not exclusively as a 9.
Grealish scampering away from Elliott, scampering away from Fabinho, who upended him, and Manchester City have a free kick.
Well, we've seen Jack Grealish grow in confidence as he's playing more and more, become a key player in this team in recent months. Just drifting inside, great strength as well.
A very accomplished English performance in Naples against Italy the other day. Very good win for England at the start of European Championship qualifying. He played the first 70 minutes of that game. Kevin De Bruyne is over the free kick. Diaz and Rodri advanced for it. Alvarez pulling away right at the back of the queue. Here's Mahrez. Stones. De Bruyne. Mahrez. By Alvarez somewhat tamely.
Yeah, it's a poor cross in the end by Alvarez. The angle was against Kevin De Bruyne with the initial free kick, but they worked it well. Gakpo just not quite tracking his marker at the far post in Mahrez.
Recent history here, Liverpool have failed to win on their last 6 Premier League visits to this stadium since November 2015, when they had a 4-1 win here for Jurgen Klopp against Pellegrini. Kevin De Bruyne survives from that game. Nobody in the Liverpool 11 does. Last 2, though, have been drawn on this ground. 1-1 November 2020 and 2-2 about this time last year, 10th of April 2022. Grealish chipped again by Fabinho, or that's how it was read, and Fabinho's had a couple of chances now.
Yeah, this is obviously the big chat. No escaping from the fact that he lacks a bit of pace in those situations. Fabinho does a great sweeper job in front of the defence, but 2 occasions now not very well disguised in terms of fouling City players. Final warning. And that's one of Jack Grealish's qualities, and he draws people in. The best of defenders he draws in and just moves the ball slightly ahead. His reactions to their movement is exceptional, moving the ball off its line. John Stones' position alongside Rodri at the moment, left side of the holding midfield position.
Just see diagonal from Diaz. Here is Grealish teasing Alexander-Arnold. It's Jack Grealish. Rodri got a touch. It came to Stones. And now De Bruyne. Flicked in by De Bruyne. And Gundogan! Yes, he wrapped it up.
Well, that move from start to finish is all about the City fluidity in their positions. Look how high Gundogan is. He times his run perfectly. It's a beautiful ball back into the 6-yard box. He's just travelling backwards, can't quite generate the accuracy, otherwise that would have been a tap-in. But John Stones playing in that holding midfield role effectively in possession and then getting to the edge of Liverpool's box. Their ability, Peter, to control the rhythm of and tempo of the game is just so hard to play against.
I think it's time, Graham, if I may say so, and you'll correct me, that we really stop even pretending that John Stones is playing at right back. He's not. He's not. It's a back three, as it was really against Leipzig in the Champions League here a couple of Tuesdays back when Stones played alongside Rodri in that holding role. Jota.
But it's still unconventional in the sense they don't have wing-backs, and he's gone back into the right-back position now. So that's where there's opportunity, though, for Jota. If he can hold his position and his teammates encourage him to do so, then he can create a 2v1 easily down this right-hand side, City's right.
Of ambitious Alisson clearances haven't reached their intended target. Two great Brazilian goalkeepers, of course, today, as always in this rivalry. Ederson, Alisson. Neither of them played against Morocco in Tangier last Saturday. Here's Mahrez. De Bruyne. By Van Dijk. Cushioned by Mahrez. And hit by Rodri. Alisson behind it.
Yeah, more fantastic football and awareness from City. Lovely flick on by De Bruyne to free Mahrez up and not able to get the ball over Van Dijk, who's in an excellent position. Nice strike by Rodri, clean strike, but always rising, comfortable for Alisson. Liverpool have to be brave. They're keeping that line really high, trying to keep the pitch as compressed as they can. And that's going to be important, but again, the risk factor of that is the space in behind them, and if Robertson presses in, Mahrez is maybe in behind.
Van Dijk, Fabinho. Konate. Anderson, Gakpo. Robertson, Elliott, Jota. Scored on this ground last season. Henderson. Elliott.
Happy to get good touches of the football, Liverpool.
Van Dijk's diagonal, finding only Nathan Ake. They lined up together in the Dutch defence, which was, as you may have heard Rebecca discussing with Robbie and Tim before the game, rather ripped up by the French. Henderson for De Bruyne, who stepped away from Henderson and found Rodri. And Rodri saw Gundogan, and Gundogan has Grealish outside of him. Grealish can drive at Alexander-Arnold. Jack Grealish. Kevin De Bruyne. Van Dijk was ideally stationed. Gakpo rolls it out, but De Bruyne has gone down, and Manchester City have a free kick here in position A1.
Just got there ahead of Jordan Henderson. Henderson's furious, but just on his heels slightly. Oh, it's a bit soft. He's come down on his toe. Henderson going in there, misses the ball and just clips the top of De Bruyne's toe. And this is obviously a dangerous position.
Especially so when you see the individuals either side of the dead ball. Kevin De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez, two of the most adept on the planet from this range. Rodri, the disruptor in a fast-growing Liverpool wall, behind which Alisson organises.
Mahrez not happy with the distance of the wall from the ball. It's quite close. Try and get that up and down. Maybe in between the heads of Konate and Van Dijk. I think it'll be him that takes it on.
It's Mahrez! That took a coat of paint off the post.
Yeah, certainly took the varnish off. Oh. Alisson looked very comfortable, actually. Good awareness of where the posts are. Just gave it a little bit too much to do. Perfect in terms of height and pace.
Robertson, Henderson, cleverly through the lines. Gakpo fighting back with Stones. In goes Gundogan. Bit of teeth in the game now. Van Dijk with a hefty challenge, allowed to go. Henderson presented it back to De Bruyne, who stepped away from Van Dijk. Fabinho reclaimed for Liverpool. Now space ahead of Elliott. Salah one way, shot to the other. Gakpo through the middle. This is Mo Salah. It's Salah against Ake. It's Salah again. Elliott. Ake's in the way again.
Oh, that's got everyone going. Really competitive in midfield between both sets of teams. Liverpool so brave to try and play out. Easier when you're under pressure just to fall into the trap of trying to bypass midfield, but they know their way through is by keeping the ball well and playing through the lines. Henderson did really well there. And Salah creating half an opportunity for himself. It's well defended by Ake. Great positional sense.
Fabinho. Alexander-Arnold. Jota's on his way. Gakpo's alongside. It is Diogo Jota. And it's Mo Salah! Who rifles Liverpool ahead! Stunned silence in the Etihad. Klopp reluctant to celebrate until there is ultimate confirmation, because Jota may have been borderline there.
He held his run, he went early. See him there on the edge of the centre circle. He just stops there and then he goes. He's onside. It's a Kanji below or behind him, I should say, that plays him on. And this is a fantastic reward for their patience. Mo Salah takes a chance. Jota's in, he wants to go by himself. Akanji does well to recover. And he just gets him off balance there with that little tug. The ball falls really kindly, but Mo Salah took the chance, supporting Jota, and what a delightful finish that is. They've had to absorb pressure, Liverpool. They've been brave, and my word, what a finish, what a counter-attack.
Liverpool have played Manchester City 4 times this season, and if this stands, Mo Salah will have scored in all 4 games. The check is complete, the goal stands. the champions trail. And he now has 7 against these massively rivalrous opponents.
And it all came from them being patient at the back. Man City pressed them. Alisson took a slight chance, didn't he? High-risk pass into Fabinho. It came off, and that set the move away. That's why teams play from back through the lines, just to try and create that overload somewhere. Jota first and foremost took advantage, and then Salah completed the move with a beautiful strike.
Of the last 36 games in which they've scored first in the Premier League, Liverpool have won 33 and drawn 3. Henderson. It's a great goal for Arsenal, that. It's a foul on Gakpo by Stones.
He's picking up some good positions, Cody Gakpo. Dropping a little bit deeper, and that invites one of Manchester City's defenders to come out and mark him, and there's space in behind at that point.
Salah's not given up on this, and Ake's had to lengthen his stride, and Salah did keep it in. And then kicked it out under pressure from Ake, who had been irritating him. I think he's got himself into the book here.
That's a collector's item, Mo Salah getting upset. But I think he was pulled back here by Ake. He does really well. Again, you see that strength. Gets the ball. Ake's pulling him back there 2-3 times. He's got a point there. Obviously, his frustration boiling over, but certainly being manhandled by Ake.
Second booking of the season for Mo Salah, having scored his 23rd goal of the season.
Nice to see that last shot of him smiling again. It might have been ironic smiles, but nothing better than seeing him smiling. It's when he's at his most dangerous.
One of these smiling assassins. For a Liverpool team whose form away from home this season has been, frankly, lamentable. They've only won 3 games on the road. They've failed to score in 4 of their last 5 Premier League away games. They failed to score in the last 3 away games in all competitions, at Palace, at Bournemouth, at Real Madrid. But they've scored here, and they are driving forward again with Robertson, who got his delivery wrong.
I think that's the worst ever cross-off scene from Andy Robertson. He set such a high standard for himself, and the tariff wasn't particularly high. He's having a massive go at himself as he's running back into position. But that was another really good opportunity, and you see City's weaknesses. They're so open when they're in possession that immediately they lose it. There's opportunity to exploit some space, but it does take bravery and trust, in this case from Liverpool, to play through and keep players ahead of the ball.
Bruyne for Grealish. And Grealish for De Bruyne. And set back for Gundogan, who couldn't make pure contact. And out comes Jota, who, by the way, deserves immense plaudits for the way in which he held the ball so strongly, inviting Salah to run onto it for that opening goal. He is a week shy of a year since scoring himself. But that assist was a substantial one. Here's Gundogan, flick beyond Alvarez for Mahrez!
Lovely response by City, fantastic football, back to that rhythm. And there's your man again, Gundogan, just such a clever player. Getting between 2 Liverpool defenders. Come off his shin a bit, that Mahrez, hasn't he? It's not the cleanest strike. Underneath it. Goes down as an opportunity. You'd be expecting to hit the target in that situation, Riyad Mahrez.
Clouted into the clouds by Robertson. It came down for Grealish, who couldn't quite kill it dead. Alexander-Arnold hoops it away. Diaz is there to stop Salah progressing. Rodri Alvarez, De Bruyne. Mahrez, problem for Robertson. He solves it. And now here's Jota. Stones at his back is penalised.
If Liverpool can switch the ball, easier said than done. They're under a lot of pressure when they receive it, but there's a lot of space. Harvey Elliott's picking up some excellent positions on that far side, and Alexander-Arnold always looks to exploit the space in front of him when his team have the ball.
Henderson. The space in front of him. Jota wide. Robertson on the underlap. Henderson's available again. Elliott sharply in for Gakpo. And the flag is up. As I suspect Cody Gakpo knew it would be.
Yeah, but again, Liverpool really excited when they get into these positions. They move the ball well. There's a lot of space and lack of discipline in the City defensive line. Sort of all over the place. Not sure whether to step out or to hold a line. There's vulnerability there.
Manchester City, who have lost just once at home in the Premier League this season, seems eons ago, the last game before the World Cup against Brentford here.
It's just fantastic football.
De Bruyne thread it into a channel for Alvarez. De Bruyne. That's gorgeous. Grealish. Ake. Gundogan. Grealish, De Bruyne. Henderson stepped in.
Just tried a little flick there. De Bruyne didn't quite come off, but again, the intricacy of the passing and the movement is absolutely sensational from City, and great discipline by Liverpool, just making sure they don't get caught following the ball.
Grealish. Rodri. Okay. Stones. Akanji. Gundogan. This is so precise. Every touch immaculate. Mahrez wins a corner.
There's Gundogan again. He's been sensational so far for City. Just finding some wonderful positions. Nearly received the ball back from Mahrez.
Some outstanding footballers on both sides, playing some outstanding football. It's an exhibition in by De Bruyne, out by Jota. An exhibition though with substantial edge. Elliott, now Salah has half the field. He has Jota up alongside. He has Grealish running back, and Grealish's labour on behalf of Manchester City is universally applauded.
Yeah, this is poor by Stones initially there with that header. I don't know what he was doing there, and look at Grealish, top of the screen, working really hard. He's also aware that Jota's making that run, so he shows Salah down the line, protecting the pass inside, and intercepts really well, rightly getting rapturous applause from the supporters and his manager.
Because we all have very, very vivid memories of Mo Salah running half the length of the pitch and scoring in situations parallel to that one more than once in the past. De Bruyne nicking it on here for Mahrez. Alvarez in the middle, Gundogan alongside. That's Ilkay Gundogan. This is Jack Grealish. Alvarez, 1-1! A hot knife through butter. And everyone's bouncing up and down. The big boy himself, on behalf of the man who fills his boots.
I can tell you now, that's why Pep Guardiola comes to work every day, to see things like that. What a beautiful, beautiful goal. Absolutely stunning. He gets lucky here, De Bruyne. He just gets a foot on this. I think it goes through Robertson's legs as he tries to intercept it. But then look at this, Mahrez head up. Gundogan again, who's been sensational. Composure, awareness, two touches, just pivots on the ball, feeds it to Grealish, first time into the box. Alvarez making some great movement, again patient in his play. Everything about this is calmness. Tapping in the end, but it's built on such fantastic foundations, this goal. What a lovely team goal that is for City to get back in the game.
Well, that is a smashing goal. And one that will mean plenty to a man who's had to live in the shadow of Erling Haaland, but who almost invariably, when he has played to a very, very high level. Julian Alvarez, his first Premier League goal since February, starting in the Premier League actually for the first time since City last lost at Tottenham on the 5th of February. His 13th goal in these colours, the first of which was scored against Liverpool in the Community Shield right back at the start of it all.
Today's game, it could become a classic, the way they're playing, both teams. If they continue to both attack the way they are, and you've got two different systems, two different styles, but both teams equally will have the urgency and the focus on winning this game, so it should lend itself to continue to be as open as we're seeing so far, Peter.
And that has shaken the whole place up. It's a lovely feel now. The ambience is fizzy, up, and full of belief once more. 8 points to make up, of course, Manchester City. When the final whistle goes here, they would have played the same number of games as Arsenal. Arsenal, who kick off at 10 Eastern against Leeds. Morris. Still drifting, Riyad Mahrez. He is full of great ideas.
Fred Astaire in there, isn't he? With 4 players around him, he dances through, spellbounding, and then Alvarez, not quite on the same script. I presumed that he was going to shoot there, Mahrez, having done such fantastic work.
Just couldn't pick out Ginger, could he? Forward by Rodri. Held up by Mahrez, taken on by Alvarez, and Mahrez goes over. The flag is up for offside, so the nature of the challenge, that latest challenge, is irrelevant, though I think there is still a VAR check pertinent to a previous coming together, and that check is also now complete, because there was a previous offside which nullified it.
Yeah, Liverpool's job now is just to try and get composure, take sting out the game, as they did when City started the game so well. So hard to do, not to get caught up in the intensity of the game, but they've got the quality there.
Rodri. Grealish. Gundogan. Alvarez. Rodri. Gundogan. Ake. De Bruyne. Spotted by Alexander-Arnold. Out scurries Harvey Elliott. Van Dijk. Jota. sweetly away from Rodri, who hauled him back and has to expect to have his name taken for that. Nor, as Simon Hooper points out, was that a first offence.
And credit again to Liverpool. Van Dijk, composure to play out in tight areas. Lovely footwork by Jota, protecting the ball, getting away from Rodri, and the danger was obvious. Once he was a yard ahead of Rodri, it was only going to get bigger, that gap. So the midfielder fouling him.
City having fallen behind for the first time since doing so to Harry Kane 55 days ago, have closed down this deficit. A run of 6 straight wins going into the international break in all competitions, and functioning smoothly again. Alvarez, Mahrez, Riyad Mahrez, clumped out by Konate. Jota seeks to escape. Gakpo keeps it moving. Got a nudge from behind by Rodri. And the Liverpool supporters are suggesting that is a second bookable offence.
Yeah, this is where the game's getting out of control. Players surrounding match officials in this situation. Jordan Henderson, that's fine. He's the captain. Anyone else shouldn't be there. They're obviously complaining. I mean, that's a really tight call for a second yellow. Look at his arms on the back of Gakpo here. Puts them on his arms, he's going to ground, and I think Simon Hooper are judging that contact there isn't enough. It's more the contact between the legs, and that's acceptable from his point of view, but I'd like to know if he wasn't on a yellow card already, he'd be on one now for sure.
Well, his yellow card has just turned orange. And he is fortunate that it didn't go all the way to red. That is certainly worthy of substantial debate, and Jordan Henderson is engaged in that debate.
Yeah, and it's fine. The captains, both captains being involved in that conversation with the referee, that's okay, but we're seeing it more and more, players crowding around the referees and intimidating them. You know, the laws of the game are very clear about that. And referees have the tools to do something about it, and they've chosen not to in recent months. This game is so finely balanced. It's fantastic.
This is an elite football match.
Just need some elite commentators now, Peter.
Keep looking. Konate, Elliott. It's off by Rodri. Grealish. De Bruyne. Gundogan. Flags up.
Well spotted by the assistant referee beneath us. Gundogan again can't wait to get into that space, to try and break the lines and get in behind Liverpool's defence down that right side.
Liverpool just 12 points away from home this season. 12 points from 13 games. They've taken 30 at Anfield. Within the Premier League, there is no bigger disparity for any club between its home and away records than Liverpool's. They have travelled dreadfully. An early kick-start here, but it's an advantage they've lost. Jota's flick, Salah's on his way. Over the shoulder of Ake. Mo Salah, clear of Ake, but Stones is where he needed to be. That would have been subject to a VAR inspection, still might be. Alexander-Arnold, Ake's in the way again. And now, a foul by Alexander-Arnold.
I think it was offside in the first phase of play. Salah. Grealish still on the ground here. Shoved into by Alexander-Arnold. There's the foul. And he's just stepping over him, isn't he, Trent Alexander-Arnold? You would hope that two England colleagues wouldn't be doing anything like that intentionally. Just a pure accident as he steps over him and catches him with his left boot.
There has been a brief VAR check. It has been cleared.
It gives us a chance to catch our breath. The technical quality out there is absolutely sensational, and the trust that players have in each other to deal with the tight situations they're in, getting the balls passed to them in really, intense situations and showing quality.
Alexander-Arnold has gone in on Grealish again, and this one may invite...
I'm surprised he's not been booked for that as well. He's got no chance at all of winning the ball, Trent Alexander-Arnold, in that situation. There's a little bit of a confrontation between Akanji and Henderson.
That is one Swiss who is not neutral. Tumbled under his challenge.
There's nothing in it. Got the wrong side of him, Jordan Henderson, and hit the deck a bit too easily. I think that's what's wound Akanji up. The thing is, the game doesn't need this. It's been beautiful so far. We don't need it to become disrupted in the sense of poor discipline.
Simon Hooper, a benign dictator laying down the law.
An important 5 minutes for him now, between now and half-time, the referee, just to get control of the game, assert himself.
Past 40 minutes. Morris with City's corner. We're told as far as Grealish. We'll start again with Stones, and now De Bruyne, who couldn't lose it there. Robertson, tidy take, but he's giving it back to Grealish. Grealish toys with Konate. Rodri. Akanji. De Bruyne. Mahrez. Out by Van Dijk. And now Jota can scamper the other way. Gakpo. Henderson. Snappily up to Salah. Set back for Elliott. Fabinho, Salah. Jota protected it. Henderson lofted it. Diaz dealt with it well, but Elliott's onto it for Liverpool. Salah suspects he's offside. He's allowed to go on. Elliott's charged out by Gundogan, and now the flag does go up. And, whilst he's doing as he's told, the assistant there, Simon Long, he doesn't make himself especially popular.
It does look like Stones, he's the last man there, Stones, and maybe the assistant referee is just, given the way they're being told to wait for VAR if they're not sure, maybe he just got himself a little bit confused because he was quite far offside there, Salah. Such a frustrating way of operating the line for fans and players alike.
In a circumstance like that, where more or less everyone could see. I mean, we're a long way from being in line, Graham, but it was pretty clear, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is not to be unsympathetic to the official. It's different when you're the man having to make the call.
Yeah, he's obviously pitch side and it's all happening very quickly. And sometimes I think you just get that brain fog, don't you, where you're not quite sure what you've seen.
Stones header out, Gakpo, Jota, Robertson. Morris was caught.
guys at half-time do a feature on Gundogan because he's causing all sorts of problems.
Beautiful ball from Diaz, and he found Mahrez. And Mahrez can wriggle. And Gundogan, that's a good block by Fabinho. And now De Bruyne is offside.
Should have Gundogan, shouldn't we? Fabinho's looking at him, trying to pass him on to a defender. Elliott's trying to help as well, and you just see, he just arrives. He's so clever as a player. Arrives into a perfect position, difficult angle, well blocked by Fabinho. Throws everything at that, doesn't he?
Gakpo. With him.
Looking at Liverpool, when they win the ball back, it's Harvey Elliott who's picking up some really good positions in that narrow side of the right of midfield. He's doing all his work off the ball, but then taking that slight chance to stay the wrong side of it to be an outlet when Liverpool win it off City.
Mahrez. De Bruyne. Van Dijk got his work done. 30 seconds plus stoppage time before half-time. De Bruyne will settle for that. I imagine there'll be a whole lot added on. 2 minutes. Depth from Mahrez, back by Rodri, and deflected wide for a goal kick.
Everybody got drawn towards the ball here. Diaz taking a chance at the far post, came off for Kanji in the end.
Liverpool would be happy with this ground, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously disappointed that they went a goal ahead and couldn't maintain the lead, but in terms of the way they're playing, and they're dealing with pressure in every area of the pitch and handling it well, their composure and belief to stick to the plan has been admirable.
City's compulsion, of course, is to win the game. As much as it is a beautiful game, points mean prizes. Not all three. Kanate stomped upon by Grealish. Gundogan cut out by Henderson. What it is, a football match of
All right. Anybody home? Anybody still there? Maybe, maybe not. If you want to call, the link is there somewhere on top of the chat, so you can click and call. But if it's not, we're going to be here for a few more minutes before the second half. And let me see. Interrupt. Let me see if I can pull some statistics here for us. So 1-1 for the first half. Mo Salah scored for Liverpool and Julian Alvarez scored for Manchester City. 1-1. And it's a tough one. Arsenal fans were already celebrating because they want City to lose so they can create more space between them and City. So look at the statistics here, right? 60.7% for City, ball possession, of course. 39.3 for Liverpool. 2 shots on target for City, 1 shot on target for Liverpool, 1 goal. Yeah, 1 shot, 1 goal. That's what you need. Shot altogether 8 for Manchester City, 3 for Liverpool. Other statistics really don't matter so far. Yeah, so and for people who just joined, maybe you were at work or you didn't know what happened. This is the lineup for both teams. For Manchester City, Edison, Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, John Stones, who is playing literally in Kyle Walker's place. They almost pay for it. Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne, Jack Grealish, Julian Alvarez, Ryan Mahrez. Erling Haaland is not there. He's still injured, so they don't want to risk him. That's why he is not there. So you can call us, people. The link is there on top of the chat somewhere. You just click and call. We still have a few minutes to go until the second half, so I came back here just to take calls, just in case somebody wanna call and have a conversation. If it's not, and then we're gonna go back and watch the game and come back. We have another game today, Chelsea against Aston Villa, so stay tuned for that one. Thank you for stopping by, and do not forget to like, subscribe, all the good stuff. You know how it goes. Algorithm on YouTube is so crazy. Need any help that I can get. Alright, fixing stuff. Let's see. Alright. No comment? No. Alright, so a few more minutes here. So for Liverpool, Alisson Becker, Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, Trent, Fabinho, Hendo, Elliott, Mo, Cody, and Jota. So 2 very, very good teams. They are very balanced because in the last few, like 5 games, it's been 1 win each and the rest's been like draws. So they know how to cancel each other, to be honest with you. These are the 2 teams that know how to cancel each other. Very good managers, tacticians, and you can tell, you can see clearly the level. So let me remind you today for match week 29, we have Manchester City and Liverpool. 1-1 so far. It's on Peacock if you are in the US. Bournemouth against Fulham. Arsenal against Leeds United. It's gonna be 10 Eastern, Brighton against Brentford, Crystal Palace against Leicester City, Nottingham Forest against Wolves, and Chelsea against Aston Villa. Tomorrow it's going to be 2 games, I think. West Ham against Southampton, Newcastle against Manchester United. And on Monday, it's going to be Everton against Tottenham. And for the midweek also, there are some games, but that is going to be for match week 30. We're going to talk about it in the next coming shows. So, yeah, a very, very good, tough weekend. And no more mistakes. You have to win your games, otherwise you're going to be behind. Arsenal need to win. Manchester City need to win. Liverpool need to win. For one reason or another. So it is what it is, my people. It is what it is. Any more? Wait. The game is about to start probably in 3 or 5 minutes. So if I don't have any comment or any question from you, we're gonna go to the audio mode. Okay, so we can just watch amazing graphics and let me show you. Do here. This is what we do here. Everything on the screen. Amazing stuff. Golassos. You can get golassos. You can get VAR decisions. All kind of stuff to make you really feel like you are in the stadium while listening for comment. So give it a chance. Give it a chance. So since I don't have any question or nobody's calling, I came back here to take calls just as promised, because the show is for the people and not for me. So if the people don't participate, and then I'm gonna just sit back. But yeah, second half is about to start, so let's wait a little bit. Let's go to the statistics, and then the second half, at the end of the game, I will come back again and open the line for everybody to call. That's why I'm here for. It's different, very different, because this one is the people decide, not me. So if you're not commenting or you're not asking questions, and then the show is not gonna last. You know what I mean? So enjoy the second half and see you at the end of the game. But anytime, if you feel like you want to call, you just leave a comment there like, hey man, come back, I want to call, and you will see me popping up and then watching the game with you and talking to you, live. So that's...
As a referee in the Premier League, you've got to have pretty thick skin. Seems to be bouncing off Simon Hooper.
And more of the same, please, after that first half. That was wonderful to watch.
It has been to this point a wonderful showcase for the Premier League, but particularly through Manchester City's eyes, that in a sense is tangential. The point is winning the Premier League, making up ground on Arsenal, and certainly losing no more ground. Here's Robertson for Liverpool. Stones kept him at bay, and it bounced last off the Scotsman for a City goal kick. Liverpool's games have, of late, barring, of course, the remarkable 7-0 against Manchester United, been pretty conservative. They've kept a clean sheet until today in 6 of the last 8 Premier League games, but failed to score in 5 of the last 9. Alvarez, oh, what a smashing ball, and Mahrez is onto it, and there is De Bruyne! Explosive, immediate! Champions on a charge! Inside the first second-half minute, from behind, City lead.
Well, that's another lovely goal from a City perspective, but absolutely disastrous from a Liverpool point of view. They're 4 against 3 when they go for this ball. Look at 4 City players all lined up against 3 really stretched Liverpool players. It's a really decent switch, but there's a huge amount of space for him to hit, and then De Bruyne is the wrong side of Van Dijk and the rest of the defence. It's a beautiful ball in by Mahrez with his right foot, lifts it over Robertson, takes out Alisson with the accuracy across the 6-yard line, and for the second time this afternoon it's a tap-in. This time it puts City ahead.
A mammoth goal, a mammoth moment, a mammoth mood changer. Kevin De Bruyne, so often the craftsman, on this occasion the executioner. And Liverpool's eyes are glazed.
And Jordan Henderson's got a problem now, really struggling. Limping heavily, just, I think, trying to get movement back in his ankle.
Jurgen Klopp has the snags, incidentally, specifically on Henderson. He's back in the Premier League 11 today by comparison with the last outing at Bournemouth, in place of Stefan Bajcetic, who you will have heard pre-match is sadly out, having been a breakthrough player for Liverpool. The young man sadly out for the rest of the season.
It's poor setup by Liverpool. It's all very well pressing in and trying to force a team to play longer, but they broke through very easily there, Manchester City.
Just further emphasis on what a moment does to the numbers. Moments ago I was suggesting the possibility of Arsenal being 10 points clear later. Right now the gap is down to 5. Foul on Elliott. Grealish the accused. Van Dijk has advanced, Konate has advanced, Gakpo is a target too. And by Alexander-Arnold, won by Van Dijk, scooped out to Konate, held up by Jota, squeezed away by Rodri, back in by Alexander-Arnold, there is Cody Gakpo! Gakpo! Oh, it's a wonderful smother, in fact the flag was up anyway.
Yeah, once again, massive delay in the flag going up. There's a lot of bodies in there. You see Gakpo is offside. Delightful touch, though. Lovely with his right foot, then protects the ball well, rolls Akanji, and Edison alerts her. He's not to know that he's offside in the build-up. Lovely touch there. And turn. Edison out like a shot.
Allison with a rare scuffed clearance. Fabinho onto it. Alexander-Arnold, Elliott. Liverpool responding well to an early second-half blow. Gakpo, Fabinho. Alexander-Arnold, lovely shape on that. Akanji away, flags up once more.
Rodri's got to be careful, Pete. He's using his arms again in that situation with Gakpo. It's instinctive. When you haven't got any pace and someone goes past you in that midfield, it's an obvious thing to use your body and your arms, but he just about gets away with it. Here's the goal again. Look at the space they've got. And they're all ahead of the ball. Once that ball is played, De Bruyne has got 5 yards on his nearest opponent. That's Van Dijk.
So with another iffy clearance, Van Dijk couldn't profit, and now Gundogan might. Ilkay Gundogan, Jack Grealish, flicked in for Gundogan, and gathered gratefully by Allison.
That's a lovely link up between Gundogan and Grealish. The ball in from Grealish is amazing because it's so tight, that space. Again, it's just like a little flick into his path, and the angle just against him there. Allison this time reading the situation well and getting off his line. I just think with Ederson, he couldn't put a foot wrong in the first half with his passing out from the back along the floor. A couple of poor clearances. That's not going to change his mindset, though, I don't think. He's got more confidence than that, more belief in himself.
Stones flung out wide for Mahrez. It's a smashing pass. Rodri flicked up towards Grealish, seen okay by Alexander-Arnold. Grealish, perpetual movement. Stones, Rodri, Akanji, Stones, De Bruyne, Stones, Mahrez, Rodri, Alvarez, Mahrez, Riyad Mahrez, Julian Alvarez, Gundogan! The bouncing Blues! Beware, they are happening. City are happening.
Liverpool look absolutely hypnotised there, where the way City were passing the ball around them, moving, interchanging positions. Static Liverpool. Nobody moving. Contrast that with the blue shirts of Manchester City. Alvarez in a tight area. Moves the ball off its line. Alexander-Arnold just about does enough to stick a foot out, and there's your man Gundogan. Gets into the box so well, finds himself in a bit of space. Brilliant composure. Knows where to strike the ball high towards Alexander-Arnold into the corner. And they're really on a roll, Manchester City.
Allison exposed, Liverpool exposed, City just excellent. Ilkay Gundogan's goals this season, the first of 4 against Bournemouth, the first of 3 at Newcastle, the second of 3 against Aston Villa, the fourth of 7 against Leipzig the other day in the Champions League, and now the third of, so far, 3 against Liverpool here. Jota, Gakpo. Cody Gakpo, deflection, corner.
Yeah, Ruben Diaz with the last touch. Came across to snuff out the opportunity for him. Gakpo. I thought he was going to play it into the running or the run of Jota. Decided to go alone, and just the angle going against him, chops back inside and gives time for Diaz to get across and get his body in between the ball and the goal.
Liverpool have 35 minutes to rescue something here. It's a tall order, in by Alexander-Arnold. Alvarez didn't catch it, Fabinho has it. Sat down for Elliott. Alexander-Arnold, away by Ake. Mahrez can protect it. Alexander-Arnold helped him over.
That's wonderful balance by Riyad Mahrez. It's the way he moves and across the pitch, lots of touches in tight areas, and once again draws the foul.
That is where City's art meets their science in a way, isn't it? That physicality, that protection of possession is a thing in itself, isn't it?
It certainly is. And also, even if you keep the ball, you're drawing players towards you, which then frees up space for somebody else. Just a passing note, Alexander-Arnold must be on a final warning, getting a booking.
Konate heaved down Alvarez. Stones. Okay. It is when you see an hour's football like this hour or so's football we've seen from Manchester City that it is not at all difficult to convince yourself that they really could be perfect from here on in.
Oh, 100%. I mean, their attitude and application so far has been almost faultless. You know, 2 poor passes from Ederson, the goalkeeper, but other than that, I can't think of a mistake.
And for the record, date for your diary, 25 days from now, Arsenal are here. City, Arsenal, and, well, to call that pivotal is to understate. But of course, Arsenal are going to have to keep winning between now and then.
And that's all City can do, is keep just putting the pressure on them, giving the problem back to Arsenal, pick up 3 points. Over to you.
Grealish, beautiful. De Bruyne. Mahrez. Driving at Robertson, set back for De Bruyne. Away by Alexander-Arnold. Stones couldn't claim it. Elliott can hurry, partially clear. Alexander-Arnold presented it to De Bruyne and got away with it. You don't always. Robertson, Gakpo. Robertson kept moving, Andy's free, and Salah's in the middle. It's Andy Robertson for Liverpool. Ake took it away and clashed with Gakpo, who went flying. Dutch knee on Dutch knee. The referee has given nothing, VAR are checking. And Gundogan's going the other way. Alvarez. Grealish. Jack Grealish! Oh. Alisson flew.
Yeah, you wonder if that should be a booking there for Gakpo, throwing himself to the ground that easily. Simon Hooper's having a word with him now, as is Jack Grealish, whose strike was excellent. I know Tim and Robbie were saying that Grealish needs to bring a few more goals. Here's the dive. That should be a booking.
It wasn't even close to being a penalty.
The thing is, if you do that consistently as a referee, you get it sorted within a couple of weeks.
by Mahrez, out by Konate, Grealish. Came down only for Elliott. And now Salah can get up ahead of steam. Blindingly obvious statement, but Liverpool need to score the next goal. Alexander-Arnold with Loft. Shota, outnumbered 2-1. He couldn't keep the ball. Here's Gundogan.
Because when you're out of possession, you need contact with the opponent. More the better if it can be the opponent with the ball. And when City play like this, even though Liverpool players are getting close-ish, the ball's moved before they can make any contact with their opponent, and it's just so disheartening as a player to be in that situation.
Stones. Gundogan. Mahrez. Saw Grealish and found him. Rodri. Gundogan. Alvarez. Poked away by Van Dijk. Taken away by Gakpo, who's gone over Riyad Mahrez. No card. And a fair bit of movement on the Liverpool bench. Firmino, though, still seated. Nunez still seated. Those would be two potential routes back. Nunez, you may have heard, has been suffering with a cut foot and had missed a couple of days training this week, which explains his non-selection in the 11. Alisson's toying with Alvarez and getting away with it. Grealish, he's had a super game. Gundogan, so has he. Find me someone in a blue shirt who hasn't. Rodri.
There's a bloke behind us.
De Bruyne, Grealish. Stones. Mahrez, problem for Robertson. Mahrez got around the outside of him but couldn't deliver.
Just going back to the point I was making about Liverpool players not being able to make contact. 85% possession for City in the last 5 minutes. It's only 5 minutes and it's only possession, but the wear that has on Liverpool and in terms of their belief becomes attritional.
This, by the way, for Jurgen Klopp is just the start of it this week. A run of fixtures that read City away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. 8 days which could really make our minds up on them. Can they be top four? Can they salvage something digestible out of this pretty dry and barren campaign? Henderson. Elliott. Henderson. Konate, Gakpo, away from Akanji. Salah snatches it from Ake. Width from Robertson. Salah. Stones clear. Fabinho. Out as far as Gakpo. High by Diaz. Alexander-Arnold. Elliott. A moment's pressure from Liverpool, but it is just a moment.
That's good defending by Konate. Strength and awareness. Shoved Alvarez out the way. Fairly, I hasten to add.
getting word in my ear that Nunez, in fact I can look down and see for myself, Nunez and Firmino are both preparing to come on for Liverpool, who have little option but to shift into go-for-it gear. I say little option, the danger of course, Graham, is that it turns ugly.
Certainly. Depends how City, how much they want to turn the screw. I feel like they're dictating everything, the pace, whether the tempo speeds up or slows down.
Liverpool actually are preparing 4 substitutes.
Does that suggest he's getting ready for Tuesday already then?
Maybe. Tsimikas and Oxlade-Chamberlain are also going to come on. Grealish. Gundogan. Mahrez. Stones. De Bruyne. Grealish. City statement. This is our ball. Come and get it if you think you can. It is complete ownership at the moment. De Bruyne. Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez chopping away from Robertson. Punched away by Van Dijk.
Well, it's that slow sort of tempo that City play at, draw the opponent into sort of a position and then all of a sudden come to life again. It's Riyad Mahrez in this instance. It's all very methodical, and then all of a sudden here he just comes to life. A couple of little step overs, gets a yard on Robertson, and again Van Dijk finding himself in a really good position at that near post to make the clearance.
So here they are lining up to change the game if possibly they can. 3 of what may become 4 Liverpool subs, but not, I suggest, before this corner. Corner taken by Mahrez. He just chooses to let it roll. To indulge himself in a little banter with the crowd, who have certainly embraced him now. A year and a half in, he really does look a part of the furniture here, a part of the scenery. He looks natural, he looks comfortable, he's doing his thing. Robertson, just too heavy for Jota. Robertson took no chances, and now the flag goes up.
Yeah, he was offside. Clearly offside, and here are the changes. Be interesting to see who he brings off. Obviously Robertson for Tsimikas. It was the international week, didn't he, Robertson, as well?
Yes, he did. A very, very successful one. There's probably no country happier with itself at the moment in European Championship qualifying than Scotland. Played 2-1-2, but it would have taken an awful lot out of the national captain. And only Robertson is spared the last 20 minutes here. Mo Salah, having scored a goal that offered so much promise, gives way to Darwin Nunez, whose body allows him 20 minutes of the game. Roberto Firmino is on his way on as well, in place of Diogo Jota. And Harvey Elliott has given way to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Ruben Dias has hit a free kick, beneath which is Tsimikas immediately.
So Gakpo off on that left-hand side, Nunez up front, and Looks at the moment like Firmino is just sort of playing as a 10 almost. Quite likely to go 2 up front, Liverpool.
And a day that began wreathed in Liverpool smiles is now stained by Liverpool scowls.
It's the hope that kills you.
Liverpool, barring something extraordinary over these next 20 minutes, will be stuck on 42 points. That is 7 short of Tottenham, currently in 4th place, albeit still with a game in hand. But it's a lot of ground to make up, especially given that there are others in the mix as well, of course. We'll be seeing Newcastle, Manchester United, which is very pertinent tomorrow. And don't rule out Brighton. We've got most of them still to play. What a pass from Ederson. Akanji. De Bruyne. Grealish. Away from Alexander-Arnold. Jack Grealish. De Bruyne. Mahrez. Knuckles it clear.
Something to see Grealish cutting inside and taking on the odd strike. I'm sure he's done it once in this second half, but he should take a shot more often when he cuts in like that. You see Liverpool have just had the wind really knocked out of them. And they're just sort of holding on to their positions now. It's like table football up here, isn't it? You've got back 4 in a line, midfield in a line, and the strikers in a line across the pitch.
Rodri, De Bruyne, Akanji. Mahrez, and again, Stones. It's going to be 7 consecutive wins for Manchester City in all competitions. 4 consecutive Premier League wins since Forest denied them a couple of points in February. It's the first of 8 fixtures in April, including 2 Champions League quarter-finals against Bayern Munich. That's tasty for Pep Guardiola. An FA Cup semi-final, and as well as Liverpool, as mentioned, Arsenal on the April calendar. Here's De Bruyne, and there's Grealish! A delicious moment, which he proudly embraces. He has been a delight. He is impish, he is fun, he is bang on target, and Manchester City are pulling stylishly away.
Oh, that caps a fantastic afternoon's football for Jack Grealish. He's been inspirational. One of the standout players in a City team that has shone so brightly this afternoon. In total control of the game. Lots of passing, keeping their options open. The game's stretching from a Liverpool perspective. You see De Bruyne just cut inside, takes Alexander-Arnold with him, then makes a run in behind. Trent Alexander-Arnold's given up. In terms of a recovery run, simple football really from City's perspective, but quality, lovely ball, put on a plate and attacked with confidence by Jack Grealish, and it's a really lovely goal from his perspective, but just shows how far Liverpool have fallen so quickly in this second half compared to their first half standards.
You've got to love the joy he brings to the game, Jack Grealish. Mahrez, he's like a child in a sweet shop. He's got the sherbet dips all to himself. Here's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Cody Gakpo. Oxlade-Chamberlain. But you used the word simple, Graham, and I take it on board. The fact is that Manchester City do the apparently simple so well all the time, do they not? And if it was that simple, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah, the simplicity comes from the understanding, the relationship they all have with each other and the ball and the tactics, but it's so complicated to get to that level of being so synchronized, I suppose is the word. And it's glorious to watch, which is why I think that first goal stands out so much. The goal that got them back into the game, because it was just stunning in its simplicity, but that doesn't come about just by chance. And somebody like Jurgen Klopp, you know, he will admire what City are capable of doing when they're playing at this level. He might not admit it, but it's total dominance at its best.
Grealish. When he wants, as he wants it. De Bruyne. Mahrez. Tsimikas in retreat. Mahrez. Not by Konate. It's a brief reprieve. Akanji.
The best thing City can do is get these sorts of leads, and then they can just manage the game in preparation for their next match. Much as Liverpool have, you know, Jurgen Klopp has made those substitutions, preparing, I presume, for his next challenge against Chelsea. City at 4-1. Maybe don't need to make substitutions or many, but they can just play their way through this game and be efficient and controlled, build on what they're doing and take that into their next matches.
Jurgen Klopp, who has been for 4 years prior to this nip and tuck with Manchester City, just ahead, just behind, over their shoulder, in their sights. A wonderfully tight, engaging rivalry right now. Must feel an horrendous distance away.
The other thing from a City perspective, Pete, is what does this say to Arsenal, this sort of performance as well? It's an advert, isn't it, for how you're playing, and that we're going to keep the pressure on you, we're going to keep playing like this, and they're really in their groove. Their form tells you that, but the performance reiterates it.
2:10 UK time now. Arsenal will just have gone out for their warm-up ahead of the game against Leeds. I bet this wasn't on the changing room telly. Another one. Mahrez, they're threatening more. Once we let it roll, Grealish. Jack Grealish wanted to unleash, still might. De Bruyne. That's a clever little ball in for Mahrez.
Once again, when he cut inside there, Jack Grealish, everybody's urging him to take the shot on. He's earned the right. He's playing so well. If he can add that to his game, like Mahrez does on that other side when he cuts in, mixing your game up, keeping your opponents thinking all the time, and he'll get a couple of goals from, you know, the edge of the penalty area if he can hone that side of his game. Incredible final third passes, 126 in the final third for City, 39 I think for Liverpool. Shows where the game's been played from both teams' perspective.
Ake. Grealish. Big miss, Haaland. Tongue in cheek.
And in a funny way, it might have suited Liverpool a bit better to have Haaland on the pitch with the way he works. I think Alvarez, the different ways in which he plays and his link-up play, and changes position more naturally than Haaland. And I said before the game, it's a big afternoon for Mahrez and Grealish to contribute and offer an outlet to Alvarez. My goodness, they've done that.
De Bruyne. Grealish! Belted against Alisson. Grealish again. Mahrez. Rodri, he can give it a thunder. Tempted so to do. Oxlade-Chamberlain threw his frame in the way.
That's a lovely strike, that by Grealish. Great volley. You see him in the warm-ups volleying balls across the pitch. That's why you practice. Really clean strike. Look at the way he just gets his knee over the ball, strikes through it beautifully, and it's more a case that it hits Alisson than Alisson saving it. Gets his body in the way, but lovely strike.
Milner for Gakpo. James Milner given the reception you would expect of a two-time City champion returning. And there's time off at the end of the game also for Rodri, who's been on a yellow card for a good long while now and has escaped without worsening that scenario. Bernardo Silva is his replacement.
And he's been replaced by number 20,
Hardly a weakening of the 11. Serenaded Bernardo Silva. Mahrez, De Bruyne. Mahrez. Just too heavy for Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, Rodri would have scored that. Lovely set-up play, though, for the short corner. And again, it's all in the details. You talk about the simplicity, Peter. That's why the set-up by De Bruyne was perfect for Mahrez's left foot. He didn't just pass it back to him. He passed it so he could strike it first time with his left foot into a dangerous area.
Ake. The game has reached Ole point. City's celebratory supporters revel in every unchallenged touch. Gundogan, Grealish.
Holy time.
That's real pressure when there's the Ole going round and you get the ball and you're thinking, oh, I'm not really the one who gives it away. I'll just make a simple pass.
Holy time. Simple pass. If you want to call us, you can do it right now. The link is there on top of the chat. Because after this game, I'm going to have to leave.
Mahrez.
And come back for the Chelsea game. You can see also the link to the Chelsea game there. Holy.
Stones. Over with Mahrez.
This is This is just like
the pantomime's begun.
Like a training ground right now for Manchester City.
One back by Mahrez, taken on by De Bruyne. Fed in here for Julian Alvarez. Alisson got out. De Bruyne scooped up towards Gundogan. Away by Konate, down by Bernardo Silva. Welcomed in by Grealish.
This is becoming ridiculous. Humiliation, really.
Jack Grealish, mesmerising. Gundogan couldn't bring it with him. Akanji.
Almost. It's just
De Bruyne.
one-sided football here. One-sided
And
football.
Mahrez.
Oh my goodness. Liverpool are just torn apart here, just like babies. This is ridiculous, my friend. Don't
Okay,
forget
has
to
it
like,
back.
subscribe
Alvarez is
if
turning.
you enjoy the show.
Grealish.
Grealish! Oh my goodness me.
Just though he could
This is becoming
turn
just
round
like
and start all over
humiliation.
again.
Holy,
I think when you look
holy.
at the upsides from Manchester City,
Oh,
you know,
my
obviously the
goodness
result's the first one, but the performance individually as a team, Alvarez has had an excellent afternoon, so that will give Guardiola confidence in the Haaland situation. Grealish
No
is
Haaland,
in
no
the form
problem.
of his life.
They didn't miss him at all.
Gundogan, who, you know,
and
as
like
he gets
he
older,
said,
you think he's going
they
to his
wanted
game's
him
going
for
to
the
change, but he
Champions
looks
League, not
as
for the
threatening as
Premier
ever.
League.
And City have a week off, which doesn't often happen. They don't play again till next Saturday at Southampton. Leads into the big Champions League tie against Bayern Munich. FA Cup semi-finals against Sheffield United from the Championship. That's on the 22nd of this month.
Liverpool and Chelsea, who is
falls
better this season? I don't know.
over the
They're
weekend,
just
immediately
not good
prior
enough.
to the big
I
game
think
here
Liverpool are
against
better than Chelsea overall
De Bruyne.
this season. But let's see the last part of the season, how it's going to be. Today is just like the beginning of the sprint, right?
I think we should mention his
So
Mahrez's
Liverpool
form with Foden being
just
out.
lost.
You know, he's been
So let's see what
absolutely
Chelsea are going to do before
fantastic this afternoon.
before we
Mahrez.
jump to conclusions.
So having a squad of players,
And Chelsea
who,
might
when you
just
ask
go
them to
ahead
perform
and beat
at this
Liverpool.
standard,
Who knows?
wow,
Jack
that's,
Grealish out.
Great position to be in as a coach.
This is ridiculous, my friends. Beyond even ridiculous.
Yes. Akanji. Alvarez.
This is just like
Alvarez
man
all over
against
it.
balls.
Alvarez is all over Konate. City are going to make a change. And just hear the reception here for Jack Grealish.
Super Jack. Jack Grealish is out.
Jack Grealish for the love of the game.
How can you hit Super Jack? Jack is doing his madness.
He is a proper.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola is happy today. And the way he
Can't help
celebrated
rubbing
it,
off on everybody who's in his company, and indeed everybody who
celebrated
has the
in
privilege
front of
to see him close up.
Liverpool
Now that
players
once more
are
he is
just
at
like
one with
so
himself.
Some people can say it's disrespectful, but yeah, sometimes you can't
Tough for
really
Liverpool to
control
bounce back,
emotions. You know?
so immediately.
Yeah, I think the consolation for Liverpool is we've seen City do this to everyone at some point, and you've got to take this game in isolation. I think the first half they were fantastic, Liverpool, really, really good.
The problem with
the real
this
problem
is
started in the opening minute of the second half with just
Liverpool might
complete
lose
lack of
heavily like
concentration
today, and then they can't beat Chelsea. And you have Anthony
realising
Taylor.
how vulnerable they
Anthony
were
Taylor is the
to
manager.
get played
Is
through,
the
and once City go
manager
2-up,
or the referee?
the game's
The
over,
referee
isn't
of
it?
the game.
3-1.
So it's
No,
not
the
sure.
deficit's too big.
Anthony Taylor.
3 minutes to add on. Liverpool
Super
will gladly
Jack.
get off now. Simicas. Nunez chasing, referee's brought it back.
And Mahrez is still on the ground from a collision with Fabinho. I think he just caught him in the thigh with his knee, Fabinho.
Ooh, 3 minutes added, people. 2 minutes to go, and I am going to leave. If you don't call now, and then no more chance. You have to come back for the Chelsea game, because after this game, I'm going to have to go. Uh-oh. Having some baffling
Firmino
issues here.
handed to Mahrez, shifted up towards De Bruyne, picked off again by Konate. 1 minute of 3 additional minutes played. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for Liverpool. And Henderson. Oxlade-Chamberlain. And Henderson falls on it.
So please call now, because we still have like 3 minutes to go. If you don't call, and then save your money for the next game, Chelsea against Aston Villa. This is the link for the game. You click there and you go like the stream to promote it, so more people can join us, please. This is the link for that.
So still to come for Manchester City home game against Leicester, Arsenal, West Ham, Leeds and Chelsea. Trips to Southampton, Fulham, Everton, Brentford, and to be arranged, Brighton. And that Brighton game, given City's Champions League involvement, if it is ongoing, could be reserved for somewhere pretty near the end of the season.
Come on, come on, come on.
Possibly the last week before the final
30
weekend.
seconds to go in my location, but when you receive from your side, it might be like 15-second delay, something like that.
City
That is
have won the league at
internet,
Brighton
has
before.
nothing to do with me. Has something to
Gundogan.
do with traffic. You might think that I am a little delayed, but no,
Final
I am
seconds
right
of a
on time.
virtuoso display
But
wins
internet is always going to
corner.
take a few seconds to travel to your
Jack
location.
Grealish, man of the match. Close second for me is Gundogan. Sensational. He needs to go on the get a massage as soon as he goes in off the game. Put him in the fridge for a week.
No Haaland. Arsenal are gutted. When they saw 1-0 to Liverpool, I think they were very happy about it.
Mahrez, Gundogan. City so special, so deliciously.
I don't know if I'm still live, because I see some issues here with my stream. But anyways, the game is over in this 4-1 to Manchester City. Arsenal are so gutted at the moment, because Liverpool were leading 1-0 at some point. So City is still second, and Liverpool needs to do more. Need to do much better. The next game is going to be against Chelsea Football Club. That is going to be something. But game by game, let's wait and see what's going to happen. And after Chelsea, it's going to be Arsenal. So they might find themselves by 3 losses, but you never know. Chelsea, yeah, not too sure. Not too sure. So people, I've been waiting for your calls here forever. Nobody is calling. So what I'm going to do is leave and come back for the Chelsea game. Please click on this link and go like that stream to promote it, so we can have more people. This is a small channel. I need all kind of help that I can get from you. Every like, every click count. Okay. So yeah. So Chelsea and Liverpool, who will be better more than their friends. Rashid 10 said that Arsenal in the mud. Well, they're still top. Even if they lose today, they still have a little gap. So do not say that yet, because still 10 games for Arsenal to go. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. So people have been waiting for your calls and your comment, but it looks like everybody is sleeping. It's a weekend, a little lazy. So come back for the second game, and it's going to be yeah, even my internet is tired. It's baffling and baffling. So they're just telling me that you have to go and get some rest to come back for the second game. So thank you so much, everybody that was there supporting the channel. I appreciate your help. Just go right now on this link here for the Chelsea against Villa, because I need your help. Without your help, we can't grow in this channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. Join us. And I will see you in a couple hours from now for the Chelsea game.